Expert dragon trials are hard. Strategies that worked with standard difficulties are much harder to pull off now, but the community has managed to discover several techniques to bypass the need for certain roles, like healers. Today I'm going to cover the speed strategy for High Zodiark that uses Fleur, Yachio, and 2 Gala Princes. First, I'll cover the minimum builds for each unit, and then cover the fight and actions that specific units need to take. I myself run Yachio, but in this guide I won't be going too in-depth into my rotations, but you'll be able to see them in the full fight at the end of the video. If you aren't fully familiar with the fight, I made an early guide on that too, as outdated as it might be. For builds, in general, each player needs their respective Max Unbound Void Bane weapon, or a dragon weapon. The fight is definitively easier with at least 2 dragon weapons, but it's still doable with 1. All void weapons is a tough challenge and may require heavy augments, which brings me to my next point. All players need about 3,000 strength, preferably closer to 3,200. The only HP requirement is surviving opening blast, as ideally nothing else in the fight other than Umbral Chaser and Shadow Blast should hit you. The exact numbers don't matter so much as long as you hit certain early milestones I'll get into after the character builds. Ideally, everyone wants a Max Unbound Cupid, but I've heard you can get away with 2 Cupids and then 2 different maxed dragons like Takamika Zucchini. Both princes definitely need Cupid. Fleur is going to want Twinfold Bonds for sure. Her other optimal print is Levin's Champion, but if you're having trouble breaking on time, Stellar Show is an acceptable stand-in. Yachio needs the Worm Prince Resounding Rendition and Stellar Show. Resounding is one of the all-around best prints in the game, so it's a good investment for augments. Finally, there will be 2 identical Gala Princes. Both want a copy of the Chocolatiers and Sister's Day Out. All other methods are acceptable to reaching the required stats like facilities and augments. This is one of the hardest fights in the game, so unless you have a carry, don't take it lightly. I'd recommend using Standard High Zodiark as a practice field, as Expert isn't too much different and the speed strategy works there too. As for the strategy itself, there are a few key components. While Opening Blast is charging, both princes need to use Skill 2, which provides 30% defense to the whole team and allows everyone to survive. The princes will then Skill 1, then Dragon, then start spamming away. Meanwhile, Fleur and Yachio need to bait the initial breath to the back of the arena. After a small dash, they need to make sure the Venom Spits don't hit the princes. If you bait the 2 Venom Spits close together, Fleur has an easier time not stepping in the Venom. Next, Zodiark will do a purple dash attack that will target the furthest player, which will be one of the princes. They need to be grouped up so that they both get hit and end dragon form. After the dash, Zodiark will do a tail bash behind him. Ideally, Zodiark should hit overdrive as he initiates the purple dash, but as long as he hits it before the tail bash, you might still be okay. From this point on, the princes should spam 4-strike and skill 1 whenever they get it to break as fast as possible. Using a 1-hit 4-strike combo is probably optimal. They should only split for a moment to not overlap Umbral Chaser, where Fleur should back off and Yachio should really back off with 4-strike. Up next is Cursed Realm and Prison. This part will determine if the run is possible, as you need to break before Cursed Realm, the red line target attack, lands. Do not break Zodiark before he uses it, or he will simply use it after the break. If you do not break before Prison, Fleur and Yachio need to take Prison so that the princes can break Zodiark. Once he breaks, the prisons open immediately, so be ready. If you do break before Prison, go ahead and empty your skills into him, as you'll need to have Dragon ready for the next part. He will use Prison after break, and optimally the princes take these so that Fleur and Yachio can hit hard. Zodiark won't continue until the prisons open. Up next is Dragon tanking. If you've done enough DPS, Dragon will be ready. Zodiark will summon Cursed Realm and Spectral Flames. The player closest to him will take the Cursed Realm and will need to Dragon tank it. It generally doesn't matter who Dragon tanks as long as the person who takes the marker has Dragon ready and doesn't get imprisoned later in the fight. Do try to be consistent in who Dragon tanks between runs, and usually the smaller DPS want to tank so that the others can keep fighting. Anyway, the other players need to break the Southern Flame, then continue attacking Zodiark. The tank needs to make their way to the southern corner of the safe zone so that the area does not overlap their team. If you aren't tanking and might be in the zone, step away for a moment, as a small DPS loss isn't worth the entire run. After the Flames and Cursed Realm go off, Zodiark will go into the 4-dash phase. This phase is the easiest to mess up. At its start, Zodiark will determine target order by proximity. The closest player will be targeted first, the second closest player will be targeted second, third, and farthest last. It's very hard to be certain who gets what dash, but it's best to let Yachio take the first and the Dragon tank take the last, as Yachio can dodge most easily and the tank will naturally be the furthest. Bait Zodiark into the bottom wall with each dash if you can, and beware that he may slide along it a bit. Don't worry about DPS during this phase, dodging is super important. If one person gets hit, the run isn't over, but they'll need to Dragon tank Shadow Blast shortly. After the 4-dash phase, Zodiark will pause a moment before doing a small dash, a breath attack that targets the nearest, and then a tail bash. After, he'll do a Shadow Blast, and anyone who got hit during purple dashes has to Dragon tank. Immediately following the blast, Zodiark will deploy 2 prisons targeting the farthest players, and then shoot 2 venom spits targeting the 2 closest. You want your 2 best DPS, usually Fleur and Yachio, to stay close, but otherwise be consistent with who baits. Whoever takes prison should make their way to the right side of the arena during Shadow Blast for 2 reasons. First, if the baiters mess up, you'll be out of the range of the venom, and second, after venom, Zodiark will summon 4 more flames and you'll need to break 2 this time, and it's optimal to head there during blast. Baiters can break the bottom flame, but remember that you just baited venom and it's still on the ground and can still kill you, so be very careful where you step. After breaking the flames, everyone except Fleur should head to the bottom left of the safe space. Fleur, or some other designated baiter, should stand to Zodiark's right and bait the purple breath away, leaving before she can get hit to join the party. Next up is a cursed realm or field, and prisons. Someone with dragon needs to take the target, but then stay close to Zodiark to not get prison. Taking the marker but also taking prison is guaranteed death. Ideally, the smallest DPS should bait the prison. Do note that if Zodiark uses Cursed Field, the horizontal attack, it may be tricky to see the end of the line and know when the attack is about to land, so you'll need to time it. It goes off 10 seconds after it shows up. Zodiark will then purple dash to the farthest, then small dash, tail bash, and purple breath, followed by a shadow blast. Anyone who's taken a major hit will need to dragon tank the shadow blast. Next, Zodiark will head to the center and summon flames again, and target the nearest player with a cursed realm or field. The group needs to break the southern and right flames. Zodiark will also summon an Umbral Chaser, but don't split up just yet as all 3 attacks will go off around the same time, so you have plenty of time to split up and break 2 flames. Once broken, the dragon tanker needs to hide in the top right corner while the rest of the team disperses apart outside of the marker. It's very possible that the player who did the second dragon tank can also dragon tank the third one if they have dragon again. At this point, you should be pretty close to victory. Zodiark will do a purple dash next, so watch out. For further tactics after this point, the same principles apply. Primarily, don't die. He has another spectral flame phase where the flames spawn in stages, but unless your entire group is sure you can finish him on time, break the flame first. It's possible you have the DPS, but if one or more members wants to be safe and goes for a flame where the rest of the party goes for Zodiark, it's possible neither goal will be accomplished and everyone will die. It's better to be safe than sorry. And that's pretty much it. Let me know if you have any questions and I'll do my best to answer them. Also, consider checking out my humorous How to Play series or maybe one of my musical parodies. And a special thanks to these fine folks who helped me grab the footage and also clear Zodiark for the first time. It was a blast running with you.